Well, I managed to get out again, try and get a bit of fishing in before the bank holiday weekend chaos. So we've gone to the Oxford Syndicate. Got to be change of venue, hopefully with a bit of change of luck. It's a bit of an eventful drive up here. It took about just over 3.5 hours. There was a pile up at one point, and fortunately nobody was hurt. Everybody was out of their vehicles walking around, but that took a bit of time to clear. But we got here and then bumped into a guy just landing a fish who wanted a hand to weigh it. So that was a nice introduction to the place, £23. So I wandered around for a bit, eventually chose a swim, and got about halfway to it, and the wheelbarrow tipped over, gear everywhere, and another flask has smashed. Now, I smashed one in January, and where are we now? Just scraping the end of April, and another one's gone. So I spent most of the day with this. This is my first cup of coffee since 7:30 this morning. Anyway, we got the baits in, we put a bit of bait in, got the bivvy up. We're expecting the wind to turn around tomorrow to a westerly and southwesterly and be quite strong. And we can but hope for God's smile on us. Well, we've done the first night and had a fish about 9 o'clock. Unfortunately couldn't get the flash on the camera to work, so we ended up with a pretty ropey picture of it, but at least there was a fish. The wind has completely died down now. It is turning around a little bit from the west when it does turn up, which was predicted, but we've got not a cloud in the sky and bright sunshine, but that's forecast to change later on today. Haven't seen any more fish moving around at all. There was a bit of bubbling last night, but I haven't seen anything at all this morning. But put a little bit more bait out later on, just to get a bit more flavour into the water and see what happens. Well, this is early on the second morning. The weather has changed completely. It's absolutely tipped down all night. The wind's turned around as predicted, constantly now coming from the west-southwest, but there's no warmth to it at all. And a quiet night, unfortunately. I didn't see anything boshing out at all. I didn't see any bubbling coming up anywhere that I've seen. Oh, and there's one just stuck its head out. That's the first fish that's done that since I've been here. Now that's encouraging. That is encouraging. Excited now. Let's hope a bit more of that happens and that'll give me something to focus the bait on. Well, this is the end of the session. We come to the third morning. It's my time done on my first trip to Yeoman's. Haven't had anything since the first mid-double Monday evening, and maybe a little bit disappointing, but at least we're not going home empty-handed this time. So until the next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. This is the first evening on Cherry Lake. Arrived early this afternoon, and the carp are showing signs of spawning on the far bank underneath the trees. Just got the rods all sorted out, and then we had a tremendous thunderstorm. Rumbles of thunder, lightning, torrential rain, even hailstones at one point. But the evening seems to have calmed down. Very, very little wind. There's a little bit of bubbling going on in the middle of the lake, so I've dropped a bag over the top of that. And we're looking forward to our first run. Now in daylight, whilst the tufty torch doesn't send them skidding away, it does move them on. They're not in a hurry, but they don't like it. And after dark they fly away like lunatics. I don't know what to say now. I'm totally screwed after a ridiculous drought period and 3 days of absolutely nothing. We eventually got one, and it's a nice fish too. And it hasn't finished fighting. £23, 2 ounces. To say I'm delighted would be a tremendous understatement. Happy days. Fantastic. Let's get her back. Well, this is the last afternoon. We're just coming into the last evening, and nothing's happened during the day. We've actually seen a few fish topping, sticking their head, not really boshing, but taking their heads out of the water. Spawning for the moment seems to have finished, so we've got the baits out again for tonight, last night, and hopefully we'll get the same response. Very strange run. Just as it was getting light this morning, just pulled the bobbin up tight, didn't pull it out of the clip, didn't move, and just felt down for a fish, felt a little bit of movement, leaned into it, and we were lucky to have that 23, which is my first fish from this water, and boys, it's taken a long time. There's a spider going across the lens. I don't know if you can see that, I certainly can. Let's hope it doesn't come out. Anyway, let's hope tonight or the early morning brings something before we have to wend our way home again, but at least on this trip we've had a fish, which is only a good thing. It's early evening, and there she goes. 19 pounds, 5 ounces. Rather delightful common. Excellent. Here we go. Coming together a bit now. Much happier. Well, this is the last morning. As you can see, it's pouring down with rain. We started the trip in a heat wave and the carp were all spawning. We went to hailstones and torrential rain, back to a heat wave, and now we're back to rain again, which I suppose is part of the course for UK weather in May. We've had 3 fish this time. I had 2 in the night at a 15.5 and a 19, and we started with a 23, so we've had a successful trip. And the drought has now ended. I can go home in a much better mood. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers for now. Well, I managed to get out to the local Syndicate again. Now, there should have been a Syndicate trip before I went to Cherry Lakes, but you never got to see that. Having got here and spent 2 hours finding some spots, finding some fish. They were all in the margins, or seemed to be cruising around in the margins, so I managed to find some clear spots in the weed, put some bait out, got all the rods all sorted out. So it took me about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours to get that part all done. Then put the camp together. Well, I started putting the camp together and one of the poles on the Tempest bivvy decided to snap. Now, there's a number of things I could have done, one of which would have been to go home mentally crashed, which is what I ended up doing. I could have stayed for a couple of hours and fished for a bit. I could have stayed the night and hoped it didn't rain, bearing in mind that I live in Wales and there's every chance of getting soaked at any time. So the upshot was I went home not in the best of moods. The following day I phoned Tracker, who didn't seem to be particularly bothered by it. Obviously not the first time it's happened. They told me to phone the supplier, which I did, and the supplier had to phone Tracker, and then the Tracker would ship it out to me. Well, all went good. To be fair to Tracker, the following day a new pole turned up, which I managed to fit to the bivvy without too much stress. But really, it's not good. I think if I was thinking about buying another bivvy, I'd go back to the old pram hood style, or wait for the V3 to come out, because they've obviously got serious problems with this one. And I've looked at their video on erecting it, and there's no way can I open up the legs and get them to stay where their video suggests that they can do. The material's far too tight for that, and it really is an effort to try and force it up. Anyway, the rent out the way, we're back out again. Did exactly the same thing, found some fish, found the spots, put the bait out, put the rods out. Can't do it any other way. Put the bivvy up, and I really took my time to get the bivvy up, but you really got to, I know I'm getting old and frail, but you really got to put some force behind it to get it out there. But anyway, the bivvy is now up and the rods are out fishing, and hopefully we might get something in the night. Ooh. Come on, baby. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Open. Oof, happy days. First run from the Birch Syndicate, and what a run. £25, 11 ounces. Real gnarly beast. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Thrilled to bits now. Thrilled to bits. What an absolute peach. Unrecognisable, presumably, from that scale missing. Absolutely thrilled with it. Now I think we have a bream problem. In fact, I'm sure we got a bream problem. Oh, looks like more bream attacks. Carp are feeding. The guy down the bank's just down one. There we go. It's either a tench or a bream. Well, that was a storming run. Straight into a pile of weed. Came right off the island margin. Oh, £14, 2 ounces. Really solid mirror. But I've been moving up and down there for a while now. And managed to get one. Although it's very difficult the bait to present over there because it's very weedy right up close. I think you've just got a little foot and a half, maybe 2 foot clear space between the weed and the island. Anyway, success. Let's get a bit of treatment on that flank, I think. A bit of antiseptic treatment on there. Although that's probably spawning. There you go, excellent. Let's get her back. Well, this is the second afternoon. Spent most of last night fiddling around with bream. Had 6 bream and 4 tench. But the spawning didn't seem to come to much. There was right on the end of the island in the middle of the lily pads, and that was about it. So maybe they have got it out their system. Hope so. Put in a bit more bait this afternoon and concentrate on the same spot, and hopefully something might move into it. Nothing's been mooching up and down the margins like yesterday afternoon. Mind you, we haven't had the sunshine, but it's perfect conditions, overcast, warm, nice warm wind blowing. Couldn't ask for more. So fingers crossed for this evening tonight, maybe the morning, and we'll reassess the situation then. £11 and they've finally gone down on the bait, and this £26, 7 ounce male. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Fought like a demon. Every step of the way. He's dropping a bit of milk actually. Fantastic. There we go. Steady, steady. Definitely the mojo is back. Couldn't ask for much better. Absolutely fantastic. And a nice steady pull. And there we have her. Whoa, whoa, whoa. £21, 7 ounces. Now they are definitely on the feed. Excellent stuff. There you go. Absolutely threw it to bits with this. Been a long, long struggle, and it's all coming good now, at long last. It's fantastic. Throw it to bits. Right, let's get some stills and get her back. What a night this has turned out to be. Third 20. Fourth 20 of the trip. Very angry. Long, lean, 24 pounds, 2 ounces. Dear, running out of words. What a trip. Definitely got the mojo back. Here we go. Absolutely fantastic. Gonna have to go something to top this next week. Well, what a night that turned out to be. 3 20-pounders with 11 o'clock had the 26-pounder, I think. Must have been about 12-ish, had the 21-pound common. And then about 2 had the 24-pound mirror. Absolutely thrilled with that bit of fishing. So we've ended the trip on 6 fish, 4 over 20, not to be sneezed at. Next time I'm returning to Bramblemere, not that you've seen the first trip to Bramblemere yet. So hopefully we'll meet again in that one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Cheers for now.